Let's have a round of applause for Dan, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together again. All right. And give yourselves a round of applause for being here and still partly sober. Let's hear it. I know some of you are not applauding me because you're completely drunk. How many people, real quick, let me find out about you guys. Now, I was here a while ago, and I want to make sure I give you some stuff that's going to be right for you. So I want to ask you some questions. But I don't want you to have to applaud or wave your hands. But if your answer is yes, what I want you to do, if your answer is yes, go hee-haw. Right? See, the women like it already because women just like to make noise. So when they count to three, we'll have a practice hee-haw. Everybody go hee-haw as long and as hard as you can. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hee-haw! Very good. You scared the hell out of me. All right. Remember, if your answer is yes, go hee-haw. All right, first question. How many people are seeing me tonight for the first time? Yeah! Okay. How many have never seen me before? Yeah! I confused a couple people. All right. I don't know why you put your head down in his lap, but I'm sure he's happy. How many people are here tonight? Yeah! Yeah. How many don't know where you are? Yeah! We don't care. And how many really don't give a damn at this point? How many people are drinking tonight? Yeah! All right, how many people are legally drunk? Yeah! All right, how many people are designated drivers? Yeah! And how many of you are completely drunk? Let's find out. You have any Uber drivers here? Good, because you know I don't trust these Uber guys. You know, you get in a car and they light up a joint. You want some of this? No, thank you. It's all right. Well, my name is Perry Kurtz. Let me tell you how to remember. First of all, it's Perry, like Perry Como, Perry Mason, Perry Winkle, or as my mother tells me, she's using a medicine now called Perry Anal Cream. There's also a very famous pop singer by the name of Katy Perry. Only I'm a man. Don't make me prove that. I proved it last week. She looked down and said, "Oh, you're Jewish." That was a test joke. Thanks for getting it. Yeah, but I am 63 years old, and I am happy to be alive because I am 63 years old. And, a couple other people up there. How many people here are over 50 by EHOS? Yeah! How many people are over 60? Yeah! Anybody over 70? Yeah! Anybody over 80? Yeah! Anybody over 90? Yeah! You remember the answer, that's amazing. Because they're saying now that once you hit 55 years old, there is a 65% chance that you are going to develop Alzheimer's. Yeah, and I was thinking about that, and I was just thinking that, so my name's Perry. Yeah, my mother's got dementia. She's got it really bad. She's 83. She's back in Philly. Do we have anybody from Philadelphia? Anybody from Philly? Because I'm looking for a ride home. Yeah, they finally put her in a senior home, as they call it. Although I don't like that term. I'm tired of being called seniors. I think we should be called vintage. Right? Because vintage means you've been around, you're in good shape, you're good quality, and you're still working. You know? Senior, that's a job position, you know? So I'm glad that I'm 63, but my mother's got it really bad. This is what a conversation's like. I call her up, "Hi Mom." "Who's this?" "It's Perry." "Perry?" "Yeah, it's Perry." I have a son named Perry. Mom, this is your son. Do you know Perry? Mom, this is Perry. Is Perry there? Mom, this is Perry. I have a brother named Victor. You know Victor too? Mom, this is your son. I have a son already. No, Mom, this is your son. This is Perry. Do you know Perry? Mom, this is Perry. Can I speak to Perry, please? And this goes on for 5 minutes. And now I just go, what'd you do today? And she goes, when? But it's not easy getting older, folks. We all know this. Our body changes. When you were younger and you were slim and trim and you would take a shower, remember all you had to do to get the soap off was raise your arms up and turn around? Then you hit 40 and gravity starts pulling parts down. And to get the soap off, you have to lift them out of the way. I did that last week. I found a wallet I'd been missing for a month. For $30 and 2 silver certificates. That's how old that wallet is. You know, and then our eyes start to go bad. I've got the bifocals, and I'm always going like this, constantly going like this. I swear, I've lost a fingerprint on this finger from going like this. And the problem with bifocals, if you don't have bifocals, there are 2 lenses. The bottom lens makes things look closer so you can read. But the problem is, it makes things look closer so you can't judge distance. My problem is when I first got them, I was tripping going up the stairs. It's one thing to fall when you're coming down the stairs, but tripping going up, you look extra stupid. Been there, done that, yeah. I'm very happy to have my hair. I'm very thrilled to have my hair, and I'm getting tired of that question. No, I don't put coloring in my hair. This is the natural color, but I have all my hair. I don't even have a bald spot in the back. And I'm getting tired of guys coming up to me and telling me that I have too much hair. And you know who these guys are? They're all taller than me, and they're going bald on the top. They know me downstairs. You know, my body's starting to go. I used to be slim and trim. Now I've gained a little weight around the middle. Now from the side, I look like a sloppy rolled joint. Thank you for laughing at my pain. And I got special shoes, and I got to take medications because I have diabetes. Anybody here with diabetes? A couple people. I thought we could sit around and break a couple of metformins up in the snorting. Yeah, I got diabetes because I eat a lot of chocolate. I love chocolate. When I was 10 years old, my mother found me on the floor in the kitchen on my back drinking Hershey syrup out of the can. But because of the medication, because I watch what I eat, I've stayed away from bread and rice and potatoes. I watch what I eat now. I am able to control it so my sugar levels, I'm almost normal. I still take my medication, but every night just before I go to bed, I eat a quarter of a Hershey bar. And the reason I do this is I don't want the pharmaceutical companies to go bankrupt, so I'm trying to keep them afloat. But because of my diabetes, I developed arthritis, and I got a bad hip, and I had to have my hip replaced. Any hip replacements out there? Anybody have your hip replaced? Just one? All right. Yeah. Mine was really bad, and it came on in 6 weeks, just out of nowhere. And I developed a bone spur that when I was walking, it would go. And so I was at the Improv one night, and I just finished the show. And there was a guy from New York. You know, New Yorkers, they all have an attitude. By the way, anybody from New York? Yeah, you see the attitude right? Yay! Have you ever noticed people in New York? See, I'm from Philadelphia. We're not New York. We don't sound like New York. We're similar. People in New York all sound like they had a sandwich, they ate it, and they're saving part of it in the left side of the mouth. They all talk like, how you doing? How you doing? Yeah. Hey, I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy. And the difference between a New York mobster and a Philadelphia mobster, in New York, when you owe them money, they go, hey! Hey! In Philadelphia, they add a little head motion. They go, hey! It's because people are afraid of roosters. That's what that is from. Yeah, so I had my hip replaced, but I put it off. I was going to get the operation. And I actually had a nightmare that scared the hell out of me. I had a nightmare that I was on the operating table, and I heard the doctor say to the nurse, "Nurse, I think I've cut too deep." And she goes, "Why do you say that, doctor?" He goes, "Because I scratched the table." That scared me so bad that I put off the operation for 2 years. Instead, I started taking this medication / candy. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's called Vicodin. Almost every head in this room just went, "Oh yeah, we know what it is." Yeah, happy hour. A little mix and match for you, yeah. Yeah, I was taking a lot. I got so addicted to it that I was taking 10 to 20 a day. Yeah. Well, it worked. The pain was horrible, but I couldn't feel the pain. In fact, I couldn't feel anything from my neck down. I didn't know if I was going to the bathroom or not. And that was pretty embarrassing. I was at a club. I was talking to Bud Friedman. We just got done with the show. I said, "Bud, I really appreciate you having me on the show, but I really got to go." And he goes, "Oh, it looks like you already went." But see, that's another thing about age. We get older and we go back to the way we started. Life is a cycle. You start out wearing diapers, and you end up wearing diapers. Since my operation, they hit a nerve. I have to wear them. I have one on right now. It's kind of soothing. It's not a bad thing, believe me. It's very soothing. It's reassuring because, you know, at any time, wait a minute. You don't have to rush out of the room, and that's what I like about it. Yep. And the medications they give us, I'm taking like 17 pills a day. And I hope you have this problem, but it doesn't matter. How hard I try, every time I go to put the pills up to my mouth, the smallest pill falls out of my hand, hits the floor, and disappears off the face of the earth. Have you gotten down and look, they're not there. There's a planet on the other side of Pluto made up of all these little pills that we can't find. But see, I know what it's like because I've spent a lot of my time entertaining seniors at senior centers and convalescent hospitals. The seniors are a lot of fun. They're actually a lot of fun. They're kind of crazy and they're kind of wild. There's actually an outbreak of gonorrhea in 5 senior centers in New York. That's right, they're doing it. And I've heard some weird stuff. I've been doing comedy for 40 years. This is all I've ever done. Never had a day job. And I've had some weird directions. I'm sure when you go to a job, they always give you a warning. Don't do this, don't do that, don't open the window, don't talk to Joey, don't hit this. Well, this was the strangest request I ever had. I showed up and the lady says, "Listen, just don't mention the gonorrhea." Okay, whatever. But they are crazy. There was a couple sitting up front, she had her hand on his leg. And I said, "Are you guys a couple?" And she went, "Whatever." I said, "How long have you been together?" She said, 54 years. I said, "How long have you been married?" She said, 4 years. I said, "So you knew each other for 50 years and then you got married? What made you rush into this?" She looks at her husband and says, "We were waiting for our spouses to die." You get twisted when you get up there. You know, these people are living in a home with all these other people. They're very lonely, so they just say whatever they want. They really do not care. So I come up with some jokes that they seem to like. Older couple walks out of a restaurant. The husband walks past the wishing well, takes a quarter, throws it in the wishing well, makes a wish. The wife leans over, takes a quarter, throws it in, falls into the wishing well, and drowns. The husband goes, "Wow, it worked." 2 older gentlemen are having dinner. One says to the other one, "You know, my wife's an angel." The other one goes, "Really? Mine's still alive." Older gentleman gets lost in a department store, walks up to a beautiful young lady and says, "Excuse me, could you talk to me for a few minutes?" And the woman goes, sure, why? What's the problem? He goes, well, I don't know where my wife is, and every time I talk to a beautiful woman, she appears out of nowhere. So I enjoy doing that. I'm doing a lot out in Simi Valley. We have some people from Simi Valley out here? All right, good. Well, I'll be out there next week. Vintage Paseo is a million places in Simi Valley. I don't know why that's where the old people go to fall asleep. Because that's what you do when you get old. You have nothing else to do. I'm just going to sleep for 6 days, okay? That's the thing, when you were young, you would wake up, you couldn't wait to get out of bed. Now you wake up and you go, can I just lay here for a couple days? It's so nice and quiet. The convalescent hospitals, that's a whole other universe. That's completely different. I did one out in Lancaster, and everybody was in a wheelchair. And when I got there, the room was empty. It was about this size. And they had 29 people in wheelchairs that just got rolled in from what they called a 30-minute nature hike. This was in July in Lancaster. They had 29 people pushing these people around the woods in their wheelchairs in sweltering heat. So they rolled them all in, made rows, and all of them except 6 fell asleep. And they're all sitting here. Everybody else is asleep. Now, when they're sleeping, they're asleep. They're gone. I mean, I'm trying to talk, and there's one in the back going, snoring. There's one guy, like, right where this table is, and he had all this equipment on there. He had a platform on his electric chair, and he was looking at me like this. Half his face was frozen from a stroke. So I looked and I said, sir, are you going to laugh? And he goes, I said, if you don't laugh, I'll unplug your machines. Well, he laughed and he blew this tube out of his neck. And it had air coming out of it. And so it's going flipping around. He's laughing, the nurses come over, they're trying to get it back in his neck. And he's laughing, get away from me! Don't make him laugh, shut up, he's funny! He had oxygen, electrodes, all kinds of stuff. So I finally taped it back in. I said, are you okay? He goes, yeah, you're doing good. But every time he would laugh, they didn't get in right. When he would laugh, there was this little whistle. So he would let him go, ha ha ha. And so when he would laugh, everybody else would laugh. And after about 20 minutes, everybody was waking up. And they would go, right out. So I had one show where I said, all right, where's everybody from? A lady up front goes, I'm from New York. And then somebody inside says, I'm from Chicago. And the lady from New York goes, New York's better, Chicago's better. And from the back of the room, the lady yells, I don't even have any feet and I'll still kick both your asses. So you just never know. But the world is in turmoil. We had a big storm. Anybody affected by this big superstorm we had last night? Your homes are still there? Did you see this in the news? South Central LA got hit with a tornado. It tore up power lines, it tore up trees, it tore down houses. It actually cost over $2 million worth of improvements. Playing down there tomorrow night, I can't wait to do that. Gonna be wearing my flak jacket. Yeah. Can everybody see me in my jacket? Can you all see me in that? Yeah, Liberace's dead, but I stole this off his body before they dropped him in. Uh-oh, wait. Where are you going? Wow. I chased him out of the building. Yeah! A walking ovation. Is he going to the bathroom? Is that where he's going? No. He's going to get you a drink. Good man. Is that your husband? All right. Does he look familiar to you? All right. Well, she's applauding for you because that's your husband. That's great. And is this your husband here, the one you keep touching? Oh, she went like this. I couldn't tell if it was all fingers or just one. That was good. How long have you guys been married? You're engaged. Aww. That's very sweet. How long have you known each other?
6 months.
3 years and 6 months. And where did you guys meet?
Thousand Oaks Elks Lodge.
There you go. It's like a sex lodge out there, I heard. You come and you order a drink and some Astrolube. It's a great place. Oh, you guys are sick to even get that wine. You're twisted. But I know about Elks. I've been playing Elks Lodges for 20 years. And I love Elks Lodges because you guys are not only fun, but you're actually good people. Now, I played the Moose Lodges, and I played the Eagle Lodges, and they're not really there to help anybody. You guys actually help the community. You give back, and that's what's important. You guys have class, not this guy, but you guys. Wow, some French over there. Yeah. And how about a round of applause for Dan, your ER? Let's hear it for Dan. He is your ruler. Wow. Dan, all the chicks are screaming for you. Wow. Karen know about this? He's from New York. They can't help themselves.
Everybody's screaming for him, but his wife.
No, wait a minute, one at a time.
Andy was voting for his wife, Karen. She wanted a round of applause for Karen.
All right. How about a round of applause for Karen? Truly one of the most tolerant women I know. She is, Dan's a good guy. He wouldn't harm a fly unless it was open. He's a really good guy. Yeah. But I got a little bit of information on some of the people here that we like to celebrate. Now, I know we have a couple birthdays here. All right? Oh, we're going to get to her. We're going to get to her. Let me see. Let's start at the top. He gave me a little, where's Maxwell at? Right there? All right, let's see. You are in charge of maintenance. That's why the lights are working. And the toilet's flush. Thank you so much for that. And you are a retired Navy veteran. I salute you, sir. You helped to save our country before the horrible condition it's in now. Where were you stationed when you were in there?
I spent the last 2 years in Japan.
All right, so we're over there in Japan? All right, I'll make you feel at home. Let me translate, that means hi. Yeah, I did a tour over there in Japan and North Korea for the military guys, and they were great. It was great. You know what I liked about Korea? In Korea, I was tall. And all the women were walking up to me, hi, how you doing? And I went out to do some blues. I do a lot of musical stuff. I'll show you in a little while. And I went to this place in Seoul, Korea, and they said, yeah, there's this one hill where they have blues bars up and down the street. I said, where is it? It's called Hooker Hill. And I said, really? He says, yeah, that's just the name of it. So I get there, and it's a hill, and there's bars on this or bars on that side, and every other bar is a little tiny bar. And as I walk by, a girl would come out and go, hiya, Joe, you look for a good time? I go, no, I really don't. She says, oh, you need some good time. I said, really, I don't have any money. She goes, you got money, how much you got? I go, $1,000. She goes, screw you, and she goes, walking back inside. So I walk into a bar, I walk in there, I talk to a band, I sit and do some blues with them, walk another 20 feet from the other side. Hiya, Joe, you look for a good time? I don't have any money. Oh, you got money? No, I don't. Yes, you do, I got it down. Screw you! So I actually turned down 12 hookers in 3 hours. How often do you get that chance? You know, but you gotta watch out. I live downtown, and downtown they're all over the streets, and they're not friendly. They're not friendly. I walked past one, didn't even say anything to her. She looks at me and goes, there's not enough money in the world. And I looked at her, I said, I wasn't asking. She goes, that's in case you're thinking about it. And I said, Mom, what are you doing in LA? She doesn't remember that night. Well, Max, we're glad you're here, and everybody is very happy that you're here. I understand that occasionally you like to have a drink or two. He reaches in his pocket for his flask, and Dan says that he and Karen give you a ride home on those nights. And Karen says she's agreed not to make you ride in the trunk this time. So I think that's good. She's actually sitting next to him in case he falls over. That's great. All right, now Donna, where's Donna at? Donna, my baby, Donna was part of my show last time. It's your birthday, is it today?
Yesterday.
Yesterday, and how old did you turn?
64.
64, all right, you got a year on me, I'm 63. But you see how proud she was of her age? Always be proud of your age. You know why? You made it. Think of all the people you went to school with that you grew up with that are younger than you that didn't make it. The reason you're here is because you wanted to. The fact is, if the brain still walks, the body will follow. If you have an urge to keep on going, you got an ego, you got the id, you're looking for the wild side of life, you can keep on going. And Donna, I know you are the wild side of life. She's just shaking him at me. That was nice. Here's a drink to you, Donna. If Bill Cosby was here, I'd have him get you a drink. Well, you heard about all this stuff with Bill, and I don't know it's true. Back in the early 80s, I used to have dinner with him once a month at a place called Enrico's up in San Francisco, because I ran a club up there, and he was very nice to me. And he was really, really sweet. He didn't do anything to me, although I do remember one time he stuck a cigar in my mouth. I think it was a cigar, I don't really remember. No, I don't know. But that's got to be horrible. He went from number 3 on the most respected list to 210. And I'm afraid he's probably sitting there going, I had enough nookie, who really cares, So I don't know. All right, so Donna, congratulations. Now, I understand that you work in the kitchen and you do barbecue. Yeah. So you know how to cook. That's good. What's this mean? Are you flossing? She's flaunting. She's flaunting. Yes, she is. I can see them from here. I remember them very clearly. All right, and where's Patty Howard? Hi, Patty. Your birthday too? When's the birthday?
Yesterday.
And how old did you turn?
61.
Congratulations for making it. And who are you sitting there? Who's on both sides of you?
Tony, Jacob. Tony and Jacob.
And who are they to you?
Friends.
Just friends?
Yeah, this is her husband, Gary. Gary's 40.
Gary's on the other side, and these are your friends. Okay.
No, he's my spouse of 42 years. Gary.
42 years. Congratulations.
That's why he's sitting over here.
That's why he sits over here. Yeah, you can always tell when couples are married because when they go out and they sit down to eat, they sit on separate sides of the table. And it turns out you on your own goddamn drink. Well, congratulations to you. And you are the lodge treasurer.
Yes.
All right. And somehow they were able to pull off this party. That's unbelievable. But 42 years, that's the opposite of me. I was married to the same woman for 24 years in a row. And I say in a row because it's Los Angeles, marriages don't usually last, so you prove that. And I met my wife online back in 1990. Remember the old days of computers? Back in those days, we didn't have color, we didn't have pictures. Everything was so slow that when you would type a word, it had to build itself dot by dot. So when I typed my name, it went doo, 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 doo. That was just a P alone. By the time my name finished printing on the screen, my wife made a sandwich, ate it, and digested it. And so we talked online for about 20 minutes. She called me and we talked for 40 hours over 3 days. And if you ever talk to somebody when you just hear their voice, it's like magic, and you're just dying to see them, that everything's worked. You say something, they have just the right answer. Well, it was magical. So she drove out to my house. I was living at the beach, and we fell in love. We went out for about 6 months. And then she says, listen, why don't you come out to my house in the valley? So I said, okay, I drove out there. At that time, I had a motorcycle. I had a Kawasaki 650 that was called the Perry cycle. That was the name of it. It had a trunk on it, a windshield, and on the trunk, on the gas tank, and on the trunk in 2-inch white letters, it said Perry cycle. And people would pull up next to me, traffic, and go, hey, what's a Perry cycle? It's mine. Your name's Perry? Yes, it is. What are you, a comedian? Yes, I am. And they would try to run me over for some reason. They just didn't get the So I took the party cycle, I drove out to her house. I walked in, there's a guy sitting on the couch. There's a little baby girl crawling around on the floor, barely crawling, and there's a 6-year-old boy and a 7-year-old girl in the corner playing. And he said, honey, who are these kids? And she goes, I guess I forgot to tell you, I have children. And I'm going like this, looking for the door to get the hell out of there. You know the old saying, you don't want to get involved with somebody that has baggage? My wife owns Samsonite. But I fell in love with the kids, and we all moved in together, and the kids never knew their father. They were from different relationships. So after living together with them for a year and a half, I got rings for everybody, and I got down on my knees beside the dinner table, and I said, I'd like to ask the 4 of you to marry me. And they all looked at each other, and my son, who was then 7, said, yeah, whatever, can we just eat now? Because boys are so romantic, aren't they? So we wound up getting married at City Hall. Now, most of you have been married, sure you had a nice wedding. You had a band, or you had music, and you had people dancing, and people dressed up. No, it was the 5 of us in City Hall. I walked up to the camera, I said to the guy, hi, we'd like to get married. He goes, oh yeah, you'd like to get married. I said, no, we'd like to get married. He goes, yeah, you get married. I said, oh, we'd like to get married. He goes, yeah, married. I said, married. He goes, married. I said, yeah, can we get married while we're here? And he goes, yeah, you have a seat. We call you when we're wedding. I said, we wait for you when you're wedding. You call us. And I go, we're sitting there, and I'm starting to get really nervous. Finally, I hear a voice, Sarah and Perry, please come in. So we all go walking in. It's the same guy wearing a judge's robe. Only now he's speaking perfect English. The accent is gone. It's like he took the Rosetta Stone in 20 minutes. And he goes through it, he's reading everything, finally gets to the point, now, Sarah, do you take Perry to be your lawfully wedded husband? She goes, I do. And he goes, and Perry, do you take these people to be your family? And I said, yeah, what the hell, I'm here. Not a smart thing to do because my wife remembered that. See, that's the problem, guys. Women remember everything forever. Forget about an elephant's memory. Women never forget the stupid things we do. And they know just when to throw it back in your face every time you screw up. Which I've heard is about every 7.5 hours. So we wound up getting married. We went on the road and we spent our honeymoon in, and it's good as you're sitting down, we spent our honeymoon in Barstow. Yeah, we didn't even get to Bakersfield. We were in Barstow. And Barstow is a small town. It is a loop. You pull into, there's a sign that says, welcome to, thank you for coming. A lot of inbreeding in Barstow. We met people who were their own parents. We actually had more teeth than the whole city put together. That's another thing about getting older is the false teeth. I have false teeth. Anybody here have dentures? Just make noise so nobody knows who you are. Double people. Do you ever do this the first 6 months you get them, you leave the house, you forget to put your teeth in, and you know you can't go back, so you're talking to everybody like this? Hi, how you doing? What's up? How's that? Yeah, so now the kids are all grown up. Now they're 30, 29, and 22. And my wife wanted to have more children, but I did not want to have children for a couple reasons. Number one, there's a law in Los Angeles about trolls reproducing. Hey, I'll tell you when it's a joke. And I was afraid because back in the 60s and the 70s, I did a lot of drugs. I smoked a lot of pot. I must have done my body weight in acid. And they say, there's people back there stoned or they're not sure what I'm talking about. But they say that if you do a lot of drugs, it distorts your chromosomes, and then your kid comes out all messed up. And I was afraid that I'd have a baby with an extra arm and a finger grown out of her head. So I didn't want to have children, so my wife was on birth control. And one day she takes me in the bedroom and says, honey, I've got good news or bad news. I go, I don't like the sound of either of those. And she goes, well, sit down. I said, okay. And she says, I'm pregnant. And I looked at her and I said, any idea who the father is? See, I was 53 years old. I didn't think I could get her pregnant. I didn't think I had anything left inside my body except dust. And I looked at her and he said, you sure it's mine? She goes, oh yes. And I sat there, she left the room, and I started freaking out. And then About 5 hours later, I came out of the room and I went, okay, I guess I'm going to have to just adjust to this. And I didn't think I would be a good father, you know, but I didn't even think about what I did with the kids. They were all good and normal. And I adjusted to it, and I watched my wife change. And I watched her get bigger. And I watched her breasts get bigger. And they were already way too big. I mean, here's the thing when they're too big. Her breasts were so big, she had smaller breasts orbiting around them. They were so big she would bend over a table and dust without wanting to. They were gigantic. And they were getting so big that we had to get each one a zip code. And they were getting bigger. And she got bigger. And then 5 weeks before the baby was due, the vein in her head was popping out. And I took her to the hospital and the doctor said, Mr. Kurtz, we've got 20 minutes to get the baby out of your wife or she is going to die. And I looked at him and said, can you give me 30 minutes to think about that? He looked at me and said, what are you, a comedian? Well, I am. He said, well, you're welcome to come in the operating room when we remove the baby. It's going to be a cesarean. I said, okay. So I go in there, and I'm nervous as hell. I don't know what's going on. I walk in, and the doctor has got her cut open, and he's got both hands inside her, and he's pulling stuff out like he lost a watch in a dumpster. He's reaching stuff in, dropping it. He's talking to the nurses about renting cars to go to Las Vegas while he's trying to find my baby. You know, hey, who'd you rent with? Enterprise? Oh, it's an intestine. No, use National. I got a car. Take it out of my wallet. I go, could you find my baby? He goes, hey, this is not my first rodeo. And I said, have you done this before? He said, yeah, I've done it 2 or 3 times. I said, 2 or 3,000. Gotcha. Finally takes her out, and he handed her to me, and she was a tiny little thing. And I'm sure you remember when you saw your first baby. There's nothing more beautiful, nothing touches your heart as the sight of that beautiful little baby giving you that first look. When you're holding them, they look up at you and they go. And I started to cry. And they said, would you like to cut the cord? I said, excuse me? And he goes, the umbilical cord. I said, you're going to give me scissors, really? So they took me over, and they put her on a little table, and they gave me this little scissors with a round tip. And I go to cut it. Now, I thought it was going to be soft. I thought it was just going to go snip, snip. No, it's like steel. I go to cut it, and it keeps sliding out of the scissors. So I'm chasing her umbilical cord around her stomach. I look around. The doctors and nurses are hysterical. There's 3 of them on telephones. I got a camera out. We got another one. Oh. They finally came over and held it. They go, we do that to everybody. They go, yeah, real funny. So we took her home, named her Bella. Now she is 10 years old, and she is just the most gorgeous little thing. And I know she's pretty because when I take her out, women come up all the time. They go, your daughter is so pretty. Your wife must be stunning. Do I get some credit for showing up? Come on! And people never believe it, so I actually put a picture of her on my phone. I don't know if you can see her there, people in the front. Yeah, you hear the sound from the wind? I love that sound. Yeah, she is great. And I took her out with me, and we go out and do karaoke, and she just kills it. But when she was little, she was kind of a wild little baby. I remember she was in the bassinet. I guess it was about 2 or 3 weeks after we got her home. And I walked through the bedroom, and all of a sudden I hear, and I looked around because I thought the devil was in the apartment. You ever hear the devil? He always sounds like I'm the devil. I think just once they should dress him up in a pink jumpsuit and make him sound like Ethel Merman. I think that'd be much more interesting. I'm the devil! So I walk again, then I hear it again. And this smell hits me. And my eyebrows and eyelashes burst into flame. And I fell to the floor. I couldn't inhale. I crawled into the bed and I wake my wife up. Honey, what is that horrible smell coming out of the baby? She goes, oh, it's baby food. We give it to them when they go to sleep and it clears their system out of it. Great. Great. My lungs are on fire. I fell asleep. Well, a couple nights later, my wife wanted to watch a cop show. My kids want to watch something new on Disney. She said, you guys just watch. I'm going to go watch in the other room. So I didn't think that was right. My kids want to watch something special. I'll spend time with them. So I was a little upset. So I figured I'd get even with my wife. So I waited until she was asleep. And then about 30 minutes before I was going to go to bed, I ate some baby food. And I waited until my stomach was going. So I crawled into bed, And I'm laying there and I hear her, all of a sudden I woke my wife up and I said, honey, pull my finger. She pulled my finger and goes, oh my God, what's that horrible smell? I said, baby food. Good night. And I went to sleep. You gotta have fun. So let's see who else we got here. Everybody's gonna get on this list. All right, so we got the birthday girls. Let's see. Now we've got a guy here from the Simi Lodge who says he's pretty funny. Jim Vandenberg. Where are you, Jim? Right here. I should have known. Jim, I understand you got a couple jokes. You see the way he looked at you and like, for a second I looked over at you. I thought you were Shrek. I swear to God. Does it look like him?
He does!
You have a couple jokes you want to tell the crowd?
Yeah! Come on!
Should we get him up here? Come on up here, Jim. Come on. Just one or two. Think your best joke.
Open mic!
Yeah, open mic. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jim Vandenberg.
All of you are aware it's the Christmas season, and all of you heard about what happened to Frosty the Snowman. You know, Frosty the Snowman, he's been banned from Christmas this year. Apparently last year he pulled some shit. He dropped his drawers in front of some kids when he heard the snowblower was coming down the street.